So in this video, I'm going to show how to install Maya and Mudbox. First, we're going to open up a browser. Oops, over here, and do a search for Maya 2023 minimum requirements. And it should bring up the system requirements for Maya 2023. So this is just verifying that our system will actually be able to support this install and run decently. Like it might support it, but if you don't have these minimum requirements, it's gonna run like crap and be more frustrating than useful. Looking at the operating system, we should all already be on at least Windows 10. So let's do a system info from the start menu just to see what operating system we're running, just to make sure. I'm running Windows 10 Pro, and Windows 11 works too, of course. The next part is a browser. As you can see, I'm running Firefox. About Firefox, yeah, you can see. And it's up to date. So next, look at the CPU that I'm running. Minimum is a 64-bit or AMD multi-core processor. That just means it has more than one core, really. But I would say at least an 8 core, but it has to support SSE 4.2. That's the important thing. So to see if your system supports this, you're gonna have to do a search for your processor and look at the tech specs on it. So just go into your browser and type in what kind of processor you have. Intel i7 4790K is mine. And here are this is going to be the product information. And I just have to find this section, SSE, that it supports SSE 4.2. So you can see, scroll down, and here is the instruction set. So here's 4.2 right here. So as far as the CPU goes, I'm good to go. So the graphics card, you still have to have a graphics card. So let's see the supported graphics card for Maya 2023 and Mudbox. My graphics card, I can find it, and yours too. Yeah, you can find your graphics card by right-clicking the task manager, or the task bar, and going to task manager, and go into the performance tab. My GPU, graphics processor, is a NVIDIA GeForce GTX 1060 with 6 gigs, and scrolling down, the GTX is 1060. Here we go. So my graphic card is supported with the latest driver. This is the latest driver that it would support. In order to see your drivers, you're going to want to download the GeForce Experience. If you haven't already, chances are you already have it. But this is my version is the 516.94, and the minimum is 5.11, I believe. Yeah, 5.11. So again, I passed the test. I'm just gonna check for updates. I think I'm on the latest. Yeah, I have the latest driver, so we're good there. Next is the RAM, my system memory. Again, in the task manager, under memory, I have 32 gigs. So 16 is definitely recommended. 32 is definitely better, but 8 is pushing your luck. You're probably gonna bottleneck. That's probably gonna be your bottleneck then, at your RAM, and then it's just kind of a cascade of failures from there. Disk space, that's where you're gonna install the program. I keep it on my system drive, and I install it on my system drive, and I save files to other external drives. So here I have almost a terabyte. Here I have 8 terabytes free. So yeah, it'll either be saved to the network drive or a local internal. And of course, a 3-button mouse. That's a mouse with a left click, a right click, and a scroll wheel, and a clickable scroll wheel. So the 3-button mouse has a clickable scroll wheel. So that's the minimum requirements. Next will be installing the programs. So to install Maya and Mudbox, I recommend creating an account using your school login, your .edu mail address. So I was signed in, I'm signed out now, and if you haven't created an account, you're gonna have to go ahead and create one, first out last name. Under the email, use your .edu account, because it's going to be easier to keep track of and to verify your school attendance and get a license for this program. Because if you haven't seen how much this costs, it's pretty expensive to pay for it out of your pocket. So what you can do, well, what I'm going to go ahead and do is go to Educational Access. Start out going to Educational Access and get products. Here we'll have a whole list of all of the Autocad programs, and you can just search for the one you want. In this case, we want Maya. Click Get Started, and it's going to ask you for the your login information. So he said I created it under my school account. And we can go ahead and sign in. So I am registered, I have an account, and now I can go ahead and install the program. Accept the terms. I've already done this once, so that's why there's a little .1 at it. And go ahead and open it. If you have a firewall set up, go ahead and accept it, and it will prepare your installation. Alright, so now it's going to ask me where I want to install this. Like I said, I put it on my system file, on my system drive, so under my C drive, right? So by default, under program files, I'll just leave this as the default. And I don't want my PEL. It's going to automatically install these, I guess. Oh, these are already installed because I had to install them once. But yeah, go ahead and make sure that these are all clicked. The Arnold, the Maya USD, and the Bifrost extensions. And click install. Alright, and Maya's done installing. I have to start it. And there's one update ready to be installed, and that is probably the license. Yeah. Go ahead and update my license, and that is Maya installed. No scene files, but that's all good. Alright, that's that. And next, since this Autodesk browser, it's called Autodesk browser, Autodesk desktop app. It's a lot like the Adobe Creative Cloud app or the Epic Game Launcher, Unity, whatever games engine you use. It's a lot like that, so you can browse for programs. And what I want next is Mudbox. So go ahead and install it under the same folders. Continue with always include latest updates, install product. Okay, yep, go ahead and install. There's that. The license is already installed. You can see Maya is installed now, and soon it will be Mudbox. But the minimum requirements for Mudbox aren't as extreme as Maya. So if you can install Maya, you can install Mudbox. Install. Leave it as default. Alright, and that's it. I'm going to go ahead and start it to finalize the install. Minimize that. Close that. And that's it. I like to keep these active. And I could just go ahead and close Mudbox.